Ohio has kind of became the new Florida if you think about it. Shower thoughts. When we sleep with wool blankets, we're sleeping with another animal's clothing. Saying I work for one of the richest companies in the world sounds a lot better than saying I work at Walmart. We live in a world where lemonade is made from artificial flavors and furniture polish is made from real lemons. Babysitting is a way for teenagers to feel like adults while adults go out to feel like teenagers. A successful marriage ends with watching the other person die. Beatboxers must be really good at demonstrating the noise their car has been making when they bring it to a mechanic. One of the perks of being a woman is that no one can ever surprise you with a kid years later and tell you you're the mom. Every one of us has kicked a pregnant woman if you think about it. When you make brownies, you technically just make one big brownie and cut it into little brownies. The easiest way to wait for something is to forget it exists. It's really easy to forget that vanilla is black. There is probably a tastier bird that we're missing out on because evolution didn't favor it. We live on a planet where every so often a mountain explodes, and we're just supposed to be okay with that? Why is it called a board game when it might as well be called a boring game? The ad for the first TV with colors must have been in black and white. Because some trees take so long to grow, it's possible the average piece of paper is technically older than the average person. Everyone says that getting old sucks, but dying young sucks more. You technically see more suns at night than in the daytime. Being your own boss seems great until you realize you're the one who has to make you show up to work. The last person we think about before we go to sleep is either the source of our pain or happiness. You can technically live the rest of your life without breathing. Most foods are eaten from the outside in, but with pizza we eat it from the inside out. How come elephants being afraid of mice is considered funny and absurd, but humans being afraid of bugs is considered normal? During your lifetime, you will probably indirectly cause another person's death without knowing it. Electricity is Earth's magic system that we are simply too accustomed to nowadays. In the vast majority of video games, it's totally chill and normal to be homeless. I wonder why. I just realized we are all living in the 20s. Spiders were probably an absolute nightmare to early mammals. A solution without a problem is technically a problem. Self-deprecation is the sincerest form of comedy if you think about it. TV or movie characters are only as smart as their writers. Pilots are some of the only people who can and sometimes have to sleep on the job. Bullets are the subscription service you pay for to use a gun. Squares are such simple shapes but very hard to find in nature. People trained to help you can actually hurt you the most. The first and last minutes in bed are the most comfortable. How come people are more afraid of dying on a roller coaster versus a car? Yet way more people get killed by cars every day than roller coasters. A middle finger is technically halfway to a peace sign. People often allow disrespect from family, yet very rarely do they allow disrespect from strangers. In 1,000 years, archaeologists will find tanning beds and think we fried people for punishment. Salsa is low-key just the gateway drug to hot sauce. Future generations will not know why the telephone symbol is the way it is. Having knowledge without having intelligence is a very dangerous thing. There are a lot of countries known for beautiful women, but there aren't really any that are widely known for beautiful men. Everyone owns at least one human skull if you think about it. All windows are technically windshields. You're training your body to wake up to whatever sound your alarm clock makes. How come if you drive an old car, then you are poor, but if you drive a really old car, then you are rich? Feeling not good enough is often what fuels people to become great. Somebody owns the sharpest knife in existence existence and probably doesn't even know it. How come cancer doesn't seem to exist in fantasy worlds? In your dreams, you are laughing at your own jokes. Customer service people are technically actors and actresses. In English, there's a word for siblings, for parents, cousins, grandparents, etc. But there isn't a word for aunties and uncles. Dogs have a super powerful sense of smell, but they don't seem to care about our farts somehow. Folding laundry counts as a date if you like each other enough. Since dating apps are powered by algorithms, accidentally matching with a psycho will increase the chances of matching with another one in the future. We don't want to see our pets die, but we want to outlive them. Humans are destroying the planet that's keeping them alive to make a living. Staying up late will make you tired, but sleeping longer won't make you more awake. Humans technically have mating rituals too, they're just really complex. It is way easier to make a plant-based meat than a meat-based plant. We don't need world peace, we need world accountability. With so many humans dealing with intrusive thoughts on a daily basis, it's a good thing we don't have any psychic abilities like telekinesis. Santa may be real, we all might just be too naughty to see him. Taking phone screenshots is one of the few smartphone features that isn't one-hand friendly. Any taco is a breakfast taco if it's your first meal of the day. The first thing most people do when they set foot in a new country is pee. You can buy a phone that has access to nearly all information for less money than buying a textbook for one subject. Dog lovers want their dog to be a human, cat lovers want to be a cat themselves. In human history, there have been many billion more births than deaths. People with prosthetic legs can choose to be whatever height they want to be. Of all the superpowers and fantastical abilities, mind control will always morally be evil. One of the main uses of folders is to avoid things from folding. Increasing prices while decreasing quality sucks twice. There's only one very short moment when you're truly 15 years old. You know your fart is bad when it even bothers you. Knowing that something is unhelpful is helpful. Being too lazy to go out for junk food is an example of two negatives becoming a positive. Traffic lights also function as a difficulty setting for crossing. Green is the easiest. You can always tell driving around who has a garage after a snowstorm. The fact that rich, attractive people have insecurities and self-esteem issues is hard to imagine when you are neither rich nor attractive. Finding out a living famous person is as old as you somehow pains you more than thinking they were older than you. The more you know how much you don't know. It's very likely that someone you've met thinks you're the dumbest person they have ever met. At this rate, one day CAPTCHAs will be too hard for humans. Not wanting to be labeled is wanting to be labeled as unlabeled. Knowing that tomorrow is Sunday is better than the Sunday itself. Rain sounds are loud yet give a calming effect. How can a device freeze due to overheating? The guy who killed Bruce Wayne's parents saved thousands of lives. Exterminators' jobs are to kill pests and get rid of them, yet they rely on these pests for a living. Billboards are technically ads of different lengths depending on how fast people are driving. It's hard to describe what boogers smell like even though they're in your nose. It's likely that your very first diaper still exists somewhere. Around Christmas time every single year, most of the world starts listening to over 40-year-old music again. I bet some of the greatest inventions have never been made because of lack of money. Because of evolution, humans are not backwards compatible. Lottery billionaires are probably way better for the economy than traditional billionaires. Older televisions gave off this fuzzy static feeling when you touched the screen. Soon it will become a forgotten feeling. Having one gay dad is far rarer than having two gay dads. Considering how much our gut affects our brain, food itself is psychoactive. How come walking around with your belt unbuckled feels inappropriate, but removing it completely makes it okay again? Homeless people probably hate the general public more than we view them because of the amount of stuff they see that we waste and throw in the garbage. At some point in the future, geography will start to incorporate astronomy as humans travel farther into space. If you cut a slice of cheese from the block, then all is well. But if you eat shredded cheese from the bag, flag you're an animal. Chewed up food is delicious until it leaves the mouth. Then it turns disgusting. December is always thought of as the winter month, even though winter only starts near the end of the month. While drinking a beer, technically both the person and the beer are getting drunk. If your food says enjoy at the end of the cooking instructions, you can't complain to the company if you didn't like it, since you technically didn't follow the instructions. Being alone feels a lot better than being with someone you are not compatible with. In math, multiplication and division are opposites, but for a cell, they're the same. Being the truck driver for a company that transports eggs must be an extremely stressful job. How come drinking milk and ice is weird, but drinking milk, ice, and coffee together isn't? Despite practicing every single day, it doesn't ever seem to get easier falling asleep at night. The person who came up with the word for fireplaces really didn't put in much effort if you think about it. You technically have to wait your whole life to see if you get murdered or not. Every surgery in the LEGO universe is plastic surgery. The Earth has never been in the same spot in space twice. Some English learners are better at English grammar and spelling than some native English speakers. Airports are just post offices for humans. At some point during the day, you are indeed full of shit. We could make tools, appliances, and vehicles last for decades, but we don't because it doesn't make sense financially. As humans get married later in life and have children later in life, less children will ever get to meet their grandparents. Weekends are only one day long, and there are 2 of them a week. Socially awkward people tend to be either too concerned or not concerned enough about what other people think. Taking pictures of people on the street is considered less creepy the more expensive your camera is. 2 babies can be born at the same moment but have different birthdays. A lot of people don't know you even exist. Wikipedia is one of the few examples of everyone working together and it actually turning out well. Picking out a big rock hard booger is one of the most pleasurable feelings a human can experience. The most dangerous part of riding a motorcycle is technically the amount of trust you have to put in other drivers. Billions of years have passed before you were here and countless trillions more will pass after you're gone. How come people peel the stickers off bananas despite the peel not being eaten? You can never stand backwards on a staircase. Calling someone unique is a compliment, but calling someone weird is an insult. When people say that you are 1 in a million, that technically means there are 7,530 people just like you. People over 30 years old have been alive longer than every dog in the world. Some people in prehistoric times may not have known that intercourse is the thing that causes babies to be born. Once you're a MILF, becoming a GILF is out of your control. 99% of all the data and records that we keep never get looked at again. Because of inflation, a penny saved is so slightly less than a penny earned. In cartoons, the family's dog is always terrorizing the cat, despite the fact that in real life the cat is usually the merciless bully. 8 billion people will die in the next century. Welcome mats were probably invented by a vampire. You gain knowledge by subscribing.